Working on Oregon's roads can be a dangerous job. Think about your safety each and every day. I know I do.
You know, we figure he was probably doing between 70 to 75 miles an hour when he came through the work zone because he had no brakes. I just about lost my whole entire crew that day.
This is the area the crew was working in the day of the near miss. They had set up ahead of time because this is a pretty high risk area. They understand the challenges here. They had elongated their work zone to make sure they had given the trucks extra room, communicated ahead of time with some reader boards, some message boards, to make sure that they would have this space carved out for their work to occur in.
We were doing a full lane width grind inlay project at about mile point 10.2 northbound on I-5 coming down the Siskiyou Summit, just about the bottom of the Siskiyou Summit. We were doing both lanes. We had done the inside lane the day before, and then the day of this incident we were doing the outside lane.
I was actually the hallway truck for the grinder, and we just made the last pass with the grinder, so I pulled up against the barrier, and I was facing uphill, and I was standing on the barrier, and some equipment below me was repositioning the grader and the loader, and I look up the hill at traffic coming down, and I see a truck smoking pretty bad. I thought it was on fire. By the time I looked back up, he was already coming around the UPS truck that was in the fast lane and through our work zone. There's close calls, but when they're so close that you feel them, and that's what that was. I mean, you could feel the air off the truck, and he was by before you could really even think about what was going on. And then you start, you know, counting heads or looking for people while you're shaking, trying to walk down to see where everybody's at.
So they had a meeting in the morning, which is a normal part of their workday, where they established a couple of extra layers of safety. The work zone is their first layer, and that just gives them some space that they carve out for them. Hopefully the motoring public will respect that space, give them the room to work. When that doesn't happen, they've got to have an escape route and a plan to get themselves out of there safely.
Very high traffic. Each day we made sure we had a tailgate meeting in the morning so we could talk about what we were doing. We know it's a very dangerous area that we were working in, so we wanted to make sure everybody was on the same page and aware of the dangers. Some of those dangers are, especially working on the inside, there's no escape route. There's nowhere to run. That was our highest risk area. So with that, we put spotters in place. We left the escape ramp open because we were working just down below the lower escape ramp up there for runaway trucks. We left that open so the trucks could go into there versus coming into the work zone.
Run!
Yeah, by the time I got across the barrier, I looked up and I saw this truck flying down in the closed lane, and he was going so fast, it just happened instantly. He was gone. But I remember seeing his trailer just swaying, and I thought, oh no, because there was a grader down there, I believe. There's two more pieces of equipment down there, and it happened so fast, I thought his trailer was going to swipe one of the pieces of equipment down there. But I don't know how he missed it, but he did. He missed us all. It was something else. I mean, I still get goosebumps talking about it. I got goosebumps right now talking about it. It was that scary.
We were standing right out there in the middle of that flow lane, right at this location, when the truck came through.
Here comes a 80,000 pound, 53-foot truck trailer combination out of control coming off the summit.
We had out here on the job site that day, so we had a big 40-inch grinder. We had two dump trucks, we had a loader, and then we had another private, small light fleet that were behind us uphill of where this occurred at. Once that truck came into the work zone, the loader operator was the first one to see him. He moved out of the way, honked, moved. When we saw the expression on his face, once we moved, then we saw the truck bearing down on us. So we ran, jumped over the barrier, because we didn't know if the truck driver was going to hit the other equipment or if he was going to continue and hit us where we were standing.
The cones were they were flying. They were so far in the air, and they were going everywhere. And there was another semi truck, a UPS truck was right next to the one that was coming down the hill, and the smoke was, his brakes were just smoking. And he goes by, and it was the smoke was amazing as it went by. And then I heard the smack, and his trailer hit the UPS trailer, but they kept going. I don't know how. And then it was all over, and we were looking around and just trying to figure out what had just happened, actually.
First, he was taking out the cones as he was coming down through here. And in the summertime, these cones, they get warm, they get very flexible. But the speed that he hit these at, he was snapping them. So cones were just flying in pieces as he came down through here. We didn't jump, everybody dove over the barrier. It was just to get to a safe zone as quick as possible.
But this was probably the closest that I've come personally to be taken out. It was actually started and over before you could take a breath. It was that quick.
It was just like a flash. You just see him, couldn't believe it, couldn't believe that he missed our grader.
At the last second, I got the grader to lurch forward as the truck swerved to go by me.
It had to have been just an inch from our grader. I couldn't believe my eyes seeing the grader still sitting there when that truck went by.
Well, you can only control what you do. The drivers are pretty much on their own, and I think he made the mistake of coming down the hill way too fast and pretty much lost his air and burned up his brakes.
We always know our escape routes. We spot each other. We take, when we're doing lane closures or whatever we're doing, we have our signs, our cones. We try to protect ourselves. But a cone's a cone. When you open your door and step out of your truck, you're 2 feet from 65-mile-an-hour traffic. So we have close calls every day. It's the job.
There's so many close calls out there. I mean, it's actually daily, and a lot of us don't really see them anymore. We react to them and wipe the dust off, and so keep your head in the game. Always be aware of your surroundings and your escape routes, and look at your more experienced people and kind of stay close to them so you can see, what they've learned over the years and what you can do to protect yourself out there.
After the incident, once we did an accident or a near-miss accident investigation, we went through the process that we went through that day, and our work zone was set up correctly. We had spotters in the right places. We had done everything correctly that day.
You get a little lackadaisical. I've been working for the county almost 19 years, and the first couple of years, you're really watching and really paying attention, and then you kind of a little bit more lackadaisical, and I'm in a truck a lot of the time, so I'm not, I don't think about it a whole bunch, but that incident, it's like I'm a brand new worker again. I mean, that woke me right up.
The only thing separating you from traffic doing 65 miles an hour is a 3-foot cone. That's a lot to take seriously. Have your tailgate meetings, have your safety meetings, go over your project before you do it, run it through on paper, run it through as a group, so everybody knows where they need to be, where they want to be. It not only helps with the efficiency of the operation, but it also makes everyone safer. Talking to the truck driver later, he said that he didn't see the escape ramp.
We have families to go home to. I got 2 kids I want to go to them every night, and people drive like that, and the chances go down to me going home every night.
We did have other crews working in the vicinity that was actually north of us. So luckily enough, our law enforcement wasn't too far behind.
You never know what you're going to face each and every day. Be ready, be prepared, and expect the unexpected. After all, it can be a dangerous job.